Welcome to Open Topics of Martial Arts. Don
Usa,
Armando, Wusa.
right here. You already know it's your brother Senpai Pete. I have with me today the honorable, legendary master of San Pedro, el maestro Twin Santana, aka Twin Karate. Hermano, preséntese por favor.
Aquí estoy, gracias por esta invitación,
Here I am. Thanks again. Thanks for the invitation
por estar en este distinguido programa.
to be in this distinguished show.
Así que saludo a todos los que escuchan este programa, lo ven, y que Dios me lo bendiga a todos. Bendiciones.
Shout out to all the listeners and followers of the program. God bless you all.
Listo para recibir cualquier pregunta.
And we are ready for any questions tonight.
Okay.
En la medida que yo pueda, se la contesto.
I will be answering in the best way possible. And like I said before, if there's any questions that the listeners want to ask, please feel free to send them in the comments. If we can't answer them tonight, we will answer them in the next segment. All right. Comencemos esto, señores. Let's get this started. Armando.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah, because, is it snowing out there in New York?
Yes.
Yeah, I had to, do my housely duties, put the salt aside and everything like that. So, the question I'm going to ask.
La pregunta que le voy a hacer.
¿Entendido?
What was competitions, the exhibitions were like in San Pedro during the 70s, 80s, and 90s?
¿Cómo fue la competencia o las exhibiciones en los años 70, 80 y 90? ¿Qué diferencia hubo entre esos tiempos?
La diferencia de las exhibiciones es que se usaban todos los tipos de armas ante el público y lo hacíamos como si hubiera sido una película corrida.
So the difference is that when we would do exhibitions, we would use all types of weapons and weaponry, and we would make it look like a movie.
Ahora hacen exhibiciones haciendo formas, katas y defensa personal.
And now when they do exhibitions, all they want to do is practice forms and techniques and personal defense.
Yo montaba exhibiciones con el bo, el sai, los nunchacos, cuchillo y todas las armas posibles que nosotros podíamos utilizar. Incluso mandé a hacer estonfa criolla.
So when we would do our exhibitions, we would use all types of weapons, and either be the sai, the knife, sticks, swords, the nunchucks, and we even made our own homemade, kicking stones and kicking sticks and all that good stuff.
La exhibición era muy divertida por ese concepto de utilizar las armas. También hacíamos defensa personal igual que ahora y hacíamos mucha pelea. Ahora las exhibiciones son como competencia de forma, kata, ya no montan exhibiciones y si la montan son de rompedera de madera y muchos actos.
So back then, once again, when we would do exhibitions, it was about presentation of arms and how to use them efficiently. And because of this, people would go to them mostly. But now when you go to an exhibition, all you really see is people going there to see people breaking stuff and people doing personal training, self-defense. And sometimes we would do self-defense, but it was mostly on weapons training. That was more the main focus so that people would see the awe of what a real practitioner would know.
Yo montaba con mis estudiantes y por comité, que eran los silbotarios. Yo lo montaba, los dos sentados en el suelo, atacándose, hincado, parado, de espalda, 2 contra 1, 3 contra 1.
So in our exhibitions, we would put you to the ultimate test where we had you fighting in different positions and stances. I would have them fight sitting down, on their knees, standing up, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, turning around, you know what I'm saying? So that you have a full feel of what it is to, because guess what? One of the main reasons we practice martial arts is so that the body knows what to do in a situation. So if you're practicing how to fight from a sitting position, practicing how to fight from a kneeling position, practicing how to fight from a turned around position, or when you're outnumbered, doing these practices finesse you. So these styles or per se techniques will sharpen your mind and sharpen your asset as far as like fighting. So that's one of the things that they would do back then that they don't do really now.
Hacíamos las catas también, que son las formas, combinado en coreografía. También hacíamos las formas, 4 personas de espalda, como a 1 metro de distancia cada uno, y comenzábamos a hacer las formas hacia los 4 lados. Y cuando terminábamos en el mismo sitio de espalda. Era difícil.
And there were times where we would do kata forms, which you know is basically the dancing format of a martial arts system, you know, flowing with the attacks, flowing with the punches and the blocks. So what we would do is we would set people up 3 feet away from each other, back to back, and they would start doing kata forms going out into all 4 angles. And you know that when you do a kata from where you start, that's where you finish at when you finish. So it was very difficult to do, but you know, with everybody in line and in discipline, it would look beautiful.
El público disfrutaba tanto y aplaudía que yo tenía que decirle que por favor dejen de aplaudir.
The people would cause such an uproar and a commotion that he would have to tell the people over the mic to bring it down and calm down so that they can focus.
Porque yo preparaba también rompimiento de saltos. Yo brincaba 7, 8, 9 personas y los brincos que yo daba lo medían. Decían que yo rompía madera como a 12 pies de altura, saltando obstáculos y personas.
So one of the parts of the exhibition would be, you know, breaking things, but testing the distance. So I would jump over 8 or 9 people throwing a kick, and I would land a kick 12 feet away from where I was at. People would just uproar so bad that I would have to constantly remind them to keep it down.
Yo logré una perfección con las 2 piernas porque yo podía tirar el dorio chagi, patada de espalda, saiki, toda la patada la podía hacer igual con los 2 pies. No sabían si yo era izquierdo o derecho.
I was equally balanced with my left and right side where I could throw my kicks simultaneously, and my kicks were both flawless either on the right side or on the left side. A double your shaggy is basically the Van Damme kick when he does the splitting tornado kick with both legs. That's what a double your shaggy looks like. So it's basically a helicopter kick. Not an easy stunt to do.
En aquella época no se usaba mucho el inglés, pero me decían the twin machine. Decían que yo era la máquina porque yo tiraba patada con el pie de todas las formas sin bajarlo y usaba el otro pie, brincaba con el otro y yo seguía a la gente dándole con los pies como si hubiera sido llaveando como un boxeador y variaba la patada con las 2 piernas, saltando, brincando sin bajar nunca la pierna.
So English wasn't really used so much back when they were starting, but they used to call him the twin machine because like a machine, he just kept kicking. So with one leg, he would be kicking. With the other one, he was jumping, running, following you, and he never put the other foot down. I'm saying he's doing double kicks, triple kicks, spinning around, jumping. You know, it was something that the people couldn't get enough of.
Una de las mejores exhibiciones que yo tuve, que hice, que monté con mi grupo, la hice en un teatro de Sabana de la Mar. Ahí la gente se volvió loco con esa exhibición y me decían que yo era el hombre goma, porque yo era suelto, yo hacía flip-flap, hacía maroma y rompía madera. Eso fue una exhibición que se mantuvo en Sabana de la Mar, un pueblo del este, con mucha fama. Y con el tiempo yo tuve que ir y montar una escuela en Sabana de la Mar.
So in a place known as Sabana de la Mar, which is known to the east of our country, you know, we did an exhibition out there that was so crazy that the people couldn't get enough, to the point where I had to go back and open a school over there because they kept asking for me.
Y la exhibición de nosotros era muy motivadora. Se inscribía mucha gente. Hicimos exhibición en la cancha de la UCE y en diferentes colegios que nos invitaban a hacer exhibiciones.
You know, people were very excited to see our exhibitions and everything that we were doing, you know, to the point where, you know, we would do exhibitions in La UCE, we would do exhibitions in the basketball courts, we would do exhibitions in schools, wherever they would invite us, we would bring martial arts right to them. Wow.
Propagué el arte marcial, el taekwondo y el karate en el este. Llevé por primera vez el taekwondo al ingenio Quiqueya, hice exhibiciones y en el ingenio Consuelo fui también el primero que llevó a esos sitios el taekwondo.
So my origins in martial arts started with karate though, and then excelled to taekwondo, and I was the pioneer to be taekwondo to the Ingenio Quiqueya and Ingenio Consuelo. So my name is basically cemented in history.
También hicimos una exhibición muy bonita en la discoteca Polo cuando Pedro Guerrero, el pelotero Pedro Macorizano, fue campeón de bateo en la Liga Nacional.
We also did an exhibition where one of the baseball players for the city, you know, had just earned the home run derby. So they did an exhibition basically at his house. You know, the baseball player Pedro Guerrero.
Y las exhibiciones son tantas que hay muchas. Hicimos una exhibición en el Hotel Metro. A los turistas le hicimos una exhibición, quedaron encantados. Eso fue en el Hotel Metro. Creo que está en Guayacán, en Villamar. No recuerdo bien porque hace muchos años. Esa exhibición fue Juan Dolio. Yo creo que es Juan Dolio en el Hotel Metro, que dicen que fue el primer hotel que sacaba agua del mar en una máquina y la convertía en dulce.
All right, so in the hotel called Metro, which is basically in Juan Dolio, we used to do exhibitions there for tourists, and it was crazy. They used to love it. You know, that hotel was famous because supposedly they had a machine that would come out of water and it would make candy. You know, those are urban myths.
Hicimos exhibición en Boca Chica, públicamente en una cancha. Hicimos hice en la cancha San Pedro, frente a la iglesia de San Pedro Macorís también.
En la cancha, eso se llama la cancha del centro.
Cancha Centro.
Yeah, el centro. Estoy ahí en el Duarte. So, the basketball court that's right in front of the Juan Pablo Apóstol was one of, you know, a very famous area because it's right across the street from the church. You know, we used to hold exhibitions there all the time for the kids, and you know, it was something that the people just couldn't get enough of, you know.
En el ayuntamiento hicimos una exhibición que se llenó, que había gente en los pasillos por todos lados. Esa exhibición la hicimos en homenaje a un karateca que fue estudiante mío, Miguel Bomberito.
Miguel Bomberito. Yeah, we did an exhibition at the San Pedro sanitation office, where it was packed full of people, you know, and we did a dedication to honor one of my students. He already said the name. So basically.
Una exhibición épica porque la gente todavía sigue recordándola y me motivaba mucho a hacer exhibiciones porque a la gente siempre me pedía que cuando iban a hacer exhibiciones. Pero a la gente le gustaba más era verme peleando.
So everybody would be excited about me doing exhibitions, but it came to the point where they didn't want to just see me doing, the things that I was doing. They wanted to see me fighting. So that's when the fighting exhibition started.
Todavía mucha gente me dicen que yo era Bruce Lee.
They would say he was the San Pedro Bruce Lee.
Y la fama a nivel nacional mía ha quedado registrada para la historia de las artes marciales.
And my fame grew to the point where I'm internationally known for being a Karate Do practitioner.
Hablando de una última exhibición, hicimos en el Salón de Actos en el Colegio San Esteban, que está llegando al malecón. Esa exhibición fue una exhibición que se anunció y vinieron gente de muchas partes. Y después como a la semana, en ese mismo sitio, hicimos una competencia contra la escuela de Víctor Cará.
Disculpa. So we also did an exhibition in a school that's close to Miramar, where or Colegio San Esteban. We would get close. We did an exhibition over there where we would put two schools against each other. Big shout out to Víctor Karate, who's also one of the, per se, founding practitioners in San Pedro. And between his school and my school, we would do exhibition matches. Because like he said in the first part of the interview, San Pedro was technically banned or cut off from doing tournaments in the rest of the country because San Pedro was just that good. So they got cut off. They had to do their own exhibition matches amongst their own schools.
Después de esa exhibición trajo un enfrentamiento. Él dijo que yo tenía que pelear con él. Yo le dije que no hay problema, que vamos a pelear. El Víctor Mota me dijo, el maestro Mota me dijo, espera que yo vengo ahora, voy a buscar mi trofeo en mi casa para que me lo gane. Bueno, pasó un tiempecito y entonces vino Víctor Karate y no trajo ningún trofeo. Yo le dije, ¿dónde está el trofeo para ganártelo? Entonces, no peleamos.
So, it came to the point where Víctor Mota, which is better known as Víctor Karate, it came to a point where we started calling each other out. And he said, all right, well, I'm going to go back to my house and bring one of my karate trophies to see if you could beat me for it. And he left, and by the time he came back, he didn't bring it. So I said, since you didn't bring it, we're not going to fight.
La exhibición la preparábamos practicándola una semana entera en la escuela para poder coordinar todos los movimientos y hacer que el público se sienta satisfecho. Pero era un trabajo bien duro. Muchas horas se practicaba diaria.
When we would do exhibitions, we would practice for a whole week so that everybody would be on cue, know their routine, and know what to expect of what we're going to do in the transition of the program. And it wasn't an easy program. So, it's honorable to see how everybody came together and practiced so hard.
Ahora se da práctica por hora. Por ejemplo, se da 45 minutos, se dan 2 o 3 tandas, pero la práctica de nosotros, igual que la del maestro, el maestro que está aquí conmigo, eran prácticas corridas. Podíamos comenzar a practicar a las 4 de la tarde y a las 6 a las 7 podíamos estar ahí peleando. O sea que era 3 horas y Víctor Mota decía a correr y ponía un reloj de esos grandes, media hora, y en la media hora algunos se mareaban, vomitaban, se iban. Pero la práctica eran duras realmente. Eso no era para todo el mundo.
I'm laughing because I'm about to translate that, but I'm laughing because it's so true. Nowadays you go to class. Pardon me, I got to blow my nose real quick. So back then, well, today you go to class and you're there for 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and that's it. You go home.
All right.
Back then, it wasn't like that. Back then, you would go to school 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's 7 o'clock and you're still fighting. So Vitor Karate, he was one of those people that he would put a big clock on the floor and say, oh, start running. We're running for 30 minutes. Running for 30 minutes. That's what we do in the military. So people would run for 30 minutes and they would start passing out. Other people would start vomiting. Other people would just fall out.
Wow.
Algunos no volvían más.
Eso se llama en inglés un crucible. Un crucible is like
un crucible.
Un crucible, yeah. Viene siendo un set de obstáculos. It's a set of obstacles. You know what I'm saying? That's what a crucible is. If I remember, si yo me acuerdo bien, el examen del cinturón negro para mí, nosotros comenzamos a las 8:30 de la mañana el domingo y terminamos a las 1:00 de la tarde. Yo estaba tan estropeado, yo estaba en lo que llamamos en el cuarto aire, que ya yo no tenía aire para vivir. Era así que estaba. El que bebiendo agua no se ahorcaba.
Así mismo también era la pelea, porque no había round. En los años 70, cuando se comenzó, no había round.
Era hasta que uno caía al piso.
Entonces,
y uno parado.
Era hasta que uno se rendía, uno de los dos, o uno se cansaba. O sea que las peleas podían ser de 10 minutos, 8, 5, 7.
So real simple. When fights used to happen back then, it wasn't timed matches or timed rounds. It was last man standing. You know, it was till someone gave up or someone couldn't get up. You know, so a fight could easily last 8 or 10 minutes. They don't do that today at the dojo. Today, now at the dojo, you go, and if they do a fight, it's 30 seconds because they don't want no one to hurt each other. No, it's crazy.
Nos íbamos temprano a las 5 de la mañana, una invitación a las 6 de la mañana, a levantarse todo el mundo, allá a coger para la playa, a entrenar, o coger de San Pedro para el Soco a pie corriendo. No era fácil el entrenamiento.
We would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 6, and go run to the Malecón, go run to the beach. If we had to go outside of the city, we would run from San Pedro to El Soco. And it wasn't easy training. You know what I'm saying? It was strong, not for the faint of heart.
Los practicantes estaban preparados y no era fácil porque hacíamos competencia de ejercicio también. El que hiciera más marinera, el que hiciera más sirop, el que hiciera más lagartija, el que tuviera más resistencia, era bueno.
So what we used to do is we would do resistance training to where, you know, we would do comparisons of who could do the most jumping jacks, who could do the most sit-ups, who could do the most push-ups, you know, who could resist the longest, you know, who could stay up longer. Like, once again, last man standing.
Porque la contaban, no era por minuto ni la era contada, la contaban. Yo gané la competencia de push-ups, sit-up. Una vez hice 1,500, casi 1,600 y me dijeron, para ya, para, maestro.
One time they were doing a push-up exhibition and he did like 1,500. He's like, all right. They were like, yo, that's it, enough. You're doing too much. They had to stop him. Like, yo, that's it. No, everyone stopped already. And he kept going.
Sobre las exhibiciones, si yo me pongo aquí yo saqué unas cuantas que yo antes de venir. Las exhibiciones fueron divertidas, pero fueron demasiados sitios que visitamos. Porque también hacíamos exhibiciones en los barrios y en diferentes pueblos. En Nomina hice exhibiciones en la capital, en diferentes sitios. Donde yo visitaba me decían que había exhibición personal, yo solo, porque querían verme pateando donde quiera que yo iba.
So back then, when those exhibitions would get to the point where we were going all across the country, you know, go to the capital, go here, go there. And sometimes there'd be exhibitions where I would just show up personally because people just wanted to see me kicking. You know, they wanted to see what I was about.
Yo era el artista marcial porque decían que yo dibujaba la patada. Yo no la tiraba, yo la dibujaba como un arquitecto.
So they wouldn't call him a martial artist. They would call him an artist martial because he would draw his kicks like if he was architect. Yeah, like an architect. He would paint. He would draw out his kicks. You know what I'm saying? Like an architect drawing out plans for a building, like a blueprint.
Se aparecía un maestro en mi casa o en la escuela que yo daba la clase en el patio, en la Villa Olímpica, en donde sea, ofreciéndome que me pasara para el estilo de ellos. Venían maestros de la capital, de diferentes sitios, de Herrera, a consultarme para que yo participara en el estilo.
So a lot of teachers and masters from other styles and other places from the country would come and try to recruit me so that I would convert from my style to their style, so that I would help them with their style and or help promote their style.
Yo era muy bueno haciendo las catas. Ahí fui insuperable. También competí o peleé y me retiré invicto.
My thing was katas and forms. When it came to it, I was not just unstoppable, but I was incomparable. My techniques were flawless. To the point where people were worried about my style because it was just so sharp. And sometimes people would come to want to fight and see me and my style and not want to fight after that.
Wow.
Podemos seguir hablando cualquier otro tipo de pregunta y estamos abiertos a su disposición para seguir conversando sobre las artes marciales.
So on my part, that's basically what I wrote down for now. So if you guys have any other open questions or topics to talk about, I'm here, and I'm here to talk about martial arts all day, all day, all day.
Okay. I got one question. Well, since Maestro, since you've been in the martial arts for a lot of years,
So
did you ever have the opportunity to go to Japan or Korea?
Como tuvo mucho tiempo en los artes marciales, en el tiempo que ha durado, tuvo la oportunidad de ir a Japón o a Corea.
No, eso era difícil viajar. Yo tuve una invitación ahí a Puerto Rico y no pude. Después, porque había que tener pasaporte. Y las condiciones, los viajes a Puerto Rico eran 50 pesos y de vuelta.
Yeah, back then it was kind of difficult because to go out of the country, you needed a passport, and money wasn't necessarily the greatest thing in that time. He got invited to go to Puerto Rico, but the back and forth to going to Puerto Rico was $50 each way. And that was money that back then, $50 was not like, it's not like having $50 now. The inflation is very different.
Los viajes siempre iba el maestro, los maestros, pero no habían tantos viajes, porque los viajes comenzaron a abrirse después que llegó el sistema olímpico. Y yo tengo 30 años aquí, 31 años en Estados Unidos, y esa oportunidad de viaje que hay, yo no la pude ver porque ya yo estaba aquí, pero sí viajan a Corea. Y a Japón también viajaron muchos practicantes.
So at one point or another, when I came to the States, I've been here in the States for 31 years. Mm-hmm. So, but as far as my schools and my students, they have been invited to Japan. They have been invited to Korea,
Ahora sí, yeah.
So now they go and all that good stuff. And it's basically the same lineage that he brought. So even though he didn't go personally, spiritually he did because all his students did.
Aquí en Estados Unidos hacen viajes a Corea a visitar Kukkiwon. Y es como un tour que hacen, un flete de avión y uno puede ir a Corea a ver el Kukkiwon, la práctica. Y uno amanece ahí con ellos, puede practicar. Pero yo no he ido a Corea nunca, no ni a Japón.
So I personally haven't gone, but my students here from the States, they get invited all the time, as part of a martial arts tour, where you go and you indulge in what was the old-fashioned, like what we said before, the 5 schools that became the Taekwondo family. You know what I'm saying? Before that, it was 5 different schools with different names. So now when you go on that tour, you stay there and you stay there overnight and you practice with them, you stay with them, you get to indulge more in the personal bonding and contact with what it is of being, with the old masters and being with the older students, the first generation or whatever generation they are under the masters that started the foundation.
los padres de uno ganaban, el que era profesional ganaba 60 pesos mensual. Todo el mundo ganaba en el ingenio, en los trabajos, factoría. Era 40 pesos al mes. Y nadie podía ahorrar para conseguir un pasaje. Era difícil sacar un pasaporte, sacar un documento.
So back then, you know, people that were working in the industries or working in the sauna, you know what I'm saying? The most they were making monthly was, you know, $40 and $60, you know, and that's not that it wasn't a substantial amount of enough of money to put together to, you know, to go visiting other countries or stuff like that. You know, times were hard and difficult in those times.
Era muy difícil. Cuando la zona franca comenzó allá, lo que más ganaban era 20, 21 pesos a la semana. Imagínate, los empleados públicos era que ganaban 40 pesos al mes, 50, 60. Era difícil.
It's very difficult times, man. You know, municipal workers didn't earn more than $40 or $60 a month. You know, and people working in the zona franca when it started,
20,
the most they were getting was $20, $21, $22 a week. You know, and it like once again, it wouldn't suffice. It wasn't enough.
Los años 70 eran difíciles. Así que, maestro, aquí estamos abiertos para seguir contestando cualquier inquietud. Puede ser artes marciales, personal, no importa, porque la vida de los artes marcialistas no es tan privada.
So, in real simple, if you have any other questions, you can ask away. It could be martial arts, it could be my personal life, because the man or woman that practices martial arts, they're a public book. They're a public image. There's nothing private about them. Everything's willing to be spoken about because it's all experience. So if you have any other questions, bro, please feel free.
Oh yeah, of course. The reason why I asked that is because there's I guess that you do know of this man, maestro. El otro maestro se llama Ramón Mateo. Y yo había una foto a él. Estamos en Corea. Tengo un maestro yo creo, de Taekwondo en Corea. Pero yo formo esta cuestión. Por eso,
Sí,
de Asia y Japón. De Corea
sí.
y Japón.
Ramón Mateo vino a Estados Unidos y él se dedicó a dar muchos viajes y a competir como senior. Ramón Mateo es del Ingenio Consuelo. Cuando yo fui a Consuelo, hicimos una exhibición hicimos con Víctor Mota. Él estaba ahí, jovencito, un muchacho.
Okay.
Uno él estaba fuera del teatro.
So that person that you mentioned, Ramon Mateo, he's from Consuelo. And when they would do exhibitions in Consuelo with Victor Karate, he was there as a little kid, you know, basically a wannabe student in the 70s, you know, swinging around a nunchuck, not knowing what he was doing. You know, so wow. He knows this person personally, and says that when he came to the States, after that he started, you know, traveling everywhere as a senior instructor, you know, showing what San Pedro was about, basically.
Ramón Mateo, un buen instructor, se ha dedicado igual que yo toda la vida. Yo no le llevo muchos años a él, porque yo cuando estaba en Consuelo, yo era un muchacho también, pero yo le llevaba a él quizás sus 5 o 6 años.
So Ramón Mateo is, you know, we're not too far in age, but I'm at least 5 or 6 years older than him. You know, we were all kids at the time, but he was slightly younger than me.
Y Ramón me invitó a que fuera a su escuela. Yo me encontré con él hace como 2 meses, pero no me gusta estar visitando escuelas ajenas. Él es muy buen amigo mío. Él ya es noveno edad.
You know, I bumped into him not too long ago, and he invited me to go to his school, but I don't necessarily like going to other people's schools, you know. But between him and I, we're one of the only peoples that carry 9th Dan for what San Pedro is.
Sí, Ramón Mateo es un orgullo para mí. Él está practicando y comenzó la práctica porque yo fui que inicié el taekwondo en Consuelo. Tuve buena escuela y 3 de los estudiantes míos mejores que yo he tenido son de Consuelo. Marcial McDonald, Lino y Rafa. Eran los mejores que yo he visto de Consuelo y parte también de San Pedro de Macorís.
So he gave the name of 3 people that were students that directly came from his descendants of teaching, because he was the one that, you know, brought Taekwondo to Consuelo. So he was able to know and see who all the people were that were doing,
Lino y Rafa Castillo,
you know, doing their best at what they were doing.
Wow.
I'll be right back.
Aquí estamos, maestro, la historia de Taekwondo. Yo me sé mucha historia del país entero. Puede preguntarme de los maestros también, de la República Dominicana, porque yo tengo la mente como un archivo.
Okay, this is what is going to inform my next question. During the time when you was practicing martial arts in San Pedro, did you ever in your lifetime in San Pedro or Dominican Republic, have you ever met the masters straight from Japan or Korea?
Casi siempre de Corea. Corea es el estilo que yo seguí todo el tiempo hasta ahora. ¿Puedes repetir la pregunta para que el maestro translate for me the question? Esta es la pregunta que me hizo.
Armando.
Yeah.
What's the question you asked him again? Because I had stepped off for one second.
Oh, yeah, I was at. Estoy preguntando de los maestros de Japón y Corea del Sur, que ellos vienen a República Dominicana y tú y ellos te conocemos o no.
Gracias.
So basically estaba preguntando si usted conoció a maestros que eran de allá y si a usted lo reconocen allá. Se supone que sí.
Sí, muchos maestros me reconocen, pero no eran maestros como coreanos que iban en esa época.
Ok.
Aquí fue que yo conocí unos cuantos maestros coreanos que sí me reconocían, pero fue aquí en Estados Unidos.
So he got recognized by a lot of teachers from foreign countries here in the States, because they weren't necessarily going to San Pedro at one point. You know, nowadays you see international people going to the country, going to the islands, but back then it was mostly people transporting from one country to another, going to America, and then bumping here, and then recognizing each other for what it is. When I walked off and walked back, you know, he was talking about, once again, you know, the style that he excelled in the most was Taekwondo. So he got really recognized big time by other Taekwondo statured federations and stuff like that, you know, as opposed to how he was recognized in DR, you know, with limited advancement, because they try to throw shade, you know, on the San Pedro movement, even though San Pedro was really doing way better than any other part of the country.
Wow. Maestro coreano aquí en Estados Unidos, en competencia en New Jersey, Connecticut, Pensilvania, me han hecho reconocimiento porque ellos ven que los estudiantes míos le ganaban a lo de ellos y preguntaban mucho quién era el maestro de esos muchachos que le ganaban a todo el mundo. Incluso yo le decía a un verde mío, ponlo con un azul, un negro de ellos, y yo no, esos muchachos míos, no sé, era terrible. Nunca perdieron una competencia.
So one of the things that I got recognized for amongst masters from other countries was, you know, when we would go and do exhibitions in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and places like that, you know, when other masters would send their students out to fight mine, I had no problem telling them to put higher ranks against my lower ranks, because my students were just kicking everything. So
Wow.
I got recognized because they wanted to know how these students that were a lower belt syllabus were beating the students that were a higher belt syllabus. So that's when the honor came back to him, because, you know, obviously training is important. The way you train is important as well.
Mark Williams, campeón panamericano de Estados Unidos, me reconoce.
Mark Williams, you know, Pan American Olympiast, knows him and recognizes him as a master as well.
Sí, me ha dado certificado, y cuando Chun, gran maestro de la ITS, cuando Chun, Juan Sun Wan y algunos maestros han estado conmigo, yo cogiendo seminarios con ellos, y han reconocido mi valor.
So Master Chung from ITS was just the international taekwondo system. They recognize him and they know him, you know, amongst other people. You know, he already said the names. I can't translate names. Names are names.
No soy más grande en República Dominicana porque yo vine aquí, entonces perdí todo mi popularidad ya, pero dejé una escuela que todavía hoy por hoy yo vine a Estados Unidos y esa escuela mía siguió sacando campeones.
So even though I may have lost not my credibility but my fame in DR because I came to America, you know, I left schools over there where my students kept bringing the name up, and my school is one of the best schools still standing out there because the students are just amazing. That's basically it.
Aquí mismo hice la misma historia. La escuela de Twin Taekwondo Centro San Pedro fue la escuela más reconocida a nivel de competencia. Mi escuela fue la número 1 aquí en Nueva York, y donde quiera que íbamos a competir, traíamos 10, 12 y 15 trofeos de primer lugar.
So same thing I did here in America. When I opened up my school, my kids became number 1 on this side, and when we would go and participate in stuff, we would always come back with 14 or 15 trophies of first place, always gold.
Había tanta envidia que los maestros hasta se fueron separando de mí y poniéndose enemigos porque estaban aquí 15, 20 años primero que yo con escuela y no pudieron conmigo.
It came to a point where a lot of teachers and masters started getting secretly jealous, and they would be upset at the fact that their school started 15 and 20 years before his, and they didn't understand why his students were better than their students.
Aquí estamos para las preguntas.
And we are here ready for the next question.
Next question. So, as a
Armando,
okay.
The master has 5 or 10 more minutes. So if you have any,
this is my own.
Try to make it a
last
question.
So a quick questions.
And then of course we're gonna have a part 3 because the anticipation is real, bro. Like I'm really
serious. Yes, I know.
Right, this man came to my house. When he came to my house at 8:00, I showed him my arms. I said, "Yo, I got goosebumps, bro. Like you don't know how honored I am to have you in my house." And I'm saying it the second time, but I'm saying like if it was the first time. And he was like, thank you, you know. And personally, bro, like la historia mía, personalmente, I started martial arts at 5 years old. You know? So to have met this man when I was a kid and see him now as an adult, to me it's like, wow, it's not just that you're still around, it's that your history, your story, your testimony is out of this world. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's such an honor. It's like if I had Bruce Lee in my house right now. Basically,
I know.
Basically, you know.
One question I'm about to ask a maestro. Okay. As a maestro during your time and everything like that, how did you overcome adversity or your moments that you was not shining or anything like that?
So la pregunta,
how did you persevere?
¿Cómo tú perseveraste cuando había controversia, cómo tú perseveraste cuando había personas que le estaban haciendo la fuente negativa en contra de usted y su escuela?
Siempre he tenido contrario desde República Dominicana y aquí. La mayoría de los que me tenían envidia eran los mismos dominicanos. Y se alejaron de mí, porque yo iba a la escuela de ellos a visitarlos, para hacer intercambio de pelea y le ganábamos. Y también en los torneos le ganábamos.
So basically, what happened was a lot of teachers and masters, they started getting jealous and they started separating themselves from me because it came to a point where whenever we would have fights or anything like that, they didn't understand how my students would excel over their students. So it came a point where, ministerial jealousy, ese celo ministerial, would come in and, they didn't want to deal with him no more because not only were they beating them in regular fights, but they were beating them in tournaments and exhibitions. Like they couldn't see what.
Hubo un tiempo que yo me tuve que alejar de ellos y me mandaban maestros mensajeros que volviera con mis estudiantes a los torneos de ellos, porque yo era el que llevaba más estudiantes. Yo llevaba 25, 30, 40 estudiantes. Y cuando yo no iba a los torneos que ellos organizaban, no se daba bueno.
So it came a point where, they would invite us to go places, and I was the person that I'd take 25 to 40 students of mine, and we would go places and we would just ransack it, So it came a point where they just decided that, these people are just too better than we are, and they're always winning, so we're just going to stop inviting them.
Hubo un maestro que vino a examinarnos. Juan vino a examinarnos.
Wow.
Y entonces todos estaban en el examen. Cuando comenzó a hacer la primera forma, la segunda forma, el principiante, comenzaron a salirse de la fila. Por lo menos 10 o 12 de estos maestros envidiosos se salían de la fila y me quedé yo y otro profesor para terminar el examen.
So he mentioned someone that came directly from Korea and that they came to inspect his form and to inspect the form of the students. And the way these inspectors work, the way they do tests is if you fail the test, you have to go sit down. All right. So these people would be lined up taking these tests, these partial tests, and the people that would always be left standing were always his students, and all the other schools had to go sit down and leave because they would fail the test.
Entonces me quedé yo y otro maestro que se sabía la forma y pateaba un poco. Yo me quedé solo en el salón haciendo toda la patada con ese profesor, patada del suelo, patada del aire con las dos piernas, y completamos el examen. El examen era, todos los maestros íbamos para cuarto dan.
So they did the fourth dan crucible test. And like I said, the way these inspectors would do these tests, if you failed any part of it, you had to go sit down. So there would come a time where he's being inspected and he was throwing kicks from the floor. He was throwing kicks standing up. He was doing kicks in the air. It's double kicks, all the fancy kicks that you see when you see a Taekwondo exhibition. This man was doing that ever since the beginning of time.
Ellos consiguieron su certificado, pero no pudieron hacer la forma de cinturón verde, azul, negro, ninguno. Mas, sin embargo, ellos pasaron el examen, yo lo pasé. Y cuando yo quise mandar el dinero a Washington, D.C., ellos llamaron y dijeron que no me dieran ningún certificado.
Wow. So after everything was said and done, when he was going to go send, whatever was a donation and or a balance to Kwanzaa Wang in Washington, D.C., they called him and they said, oh, listen, don't send anything because, somebody's throwing hate and shade on you guys. So we're going to leave you guys alone. So basically they got blackballed. That's what that's called.
Me hicieron ese daño porque ellos dijeron que las certificaciones eran a través de la asociación, que ellos eran el presidente, el secretario general y que había que mandarle el dinero a ellos y no al maestro. sea, yo no pude conseguir el certificado, pero sí tengo el certificado del seminario, que eso es importante.
Right, so they didn't want to give out the certificates that they were supposed to for the syllabuses because they wanted to make sure that everything was being paid through the corporation and not through the masters. And that's a problem. So he was able to get the certificates of completing the seminars, but the other certificates of completing the crucibles, they didn't want to give it because they wanted that to be paid to the federation and not necessarily to the school where it was done at.
El problema es que los certificados de cuarto dan, cuando tú eres cuarto dan en el sistema olímpico, ya tú puedes examinar al estudiante a negro y puedes mandar a buscar los certificados a Corea. Parece que ellos no querían que yo tuviera eso.
So excelling to fourth dan was going to open the doors to him to, you know, asking for certificates straight from the country, from Korea, to be able to give it to the students. And since they knew that him and his students were excelling so hard to close that door and to shut that window, they blackballed him so that he wouldn't get that, so that he wouldn't be able to, you know, open his way out to Korea, basically. So they blackballed him. They closed the door on him. What I call, once again, ministerial envy, celo ministerial, you know.
Wow.
Sí, usaron esa envidia, esa mala fe, pero yo estoy aquí todavía y ninguno de ellos tienen escuela, ni ninguno de ellos cogieron fama. Y hay uno que está preso por violar a una menor, por violar a 3 o 4 menores.
Wow. So all those people that spoke bad about me at one point, like they walk around still to this day, but a lot of them are over here not doing anything. Others don't have a school no more. There's one teacher that he's in jail for violating, you know what I'm saying? He got caught in a PDF file, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, he has more than 3 cases on him as far as minors is concerned. Wow. So it just goes to show you, when people want to be evil and want to do stuff in the dark, God doesn't play those games. He exposes everything to the light. You know, la Biblia dice, hay de aquel que haga tropezar uno de mis pequeñitos, you know, and what that means is, you know, there's big torment for someone that tries to drop or someone that tries to stop one of my little ones from doing what they're doing and progressing. This man, as far as my testimony is with this man doesn't have an evil bone in his body. This man has never had what we call mala fe, which means ill will. He's never had ill will towards anybody. If anything, when he came to martial arts by himself. He learned the system by reading first. He read the curriculum. He learned it because it was in his heart. He engraved it in his heart. So for him to grow from scale 0 to scale 100, of course people were going to blackball him because he did it without, per se, the help that other people got. I personally received a lot of help when I came up. My teacher used to pick me up from school. He would let me sit in class, let me see the other belts that were higher than me practice so that I can absorb and learn what the higher colors were doing. So for someone like him to have not just an excellent testimony, a great trajectory, a great past story, but for someone like him that never wished wrong on anyone to be wronged so many times, it just goes to show how far he excelled and how people didn't want him close because it would take off their shine. You know, el maestro brillaba tanto que los que tenían brillo no lo querían al lado porque el hombre brillaba demasiado. And that's what the problem was.
Nunca hice negocio en el taekwondo ni en karate do. Todos los cinturones negros que yo examiné, yo le daba el certificado gratis, yo mismo lo mandaba a hacer en imprenta. Y nunca viví de las artes marciales, nunca. Ni cobraba ya tampoco.
So I never abused the system. I never charged people. You know what I'm saying? If people were in the class or whatever, traían donaciones. No. All right. So not even donations. It was literally just come, practice, and be a part. And nice. That right there, bro, that's something that you and I talk about all the time.
Yes.
You know, there's people that live off the fact that they're martial artists, and there's just people that live for martial arts. There's a difference. Hay gente que viven de lo que saben de los artes marciales y hay gente que viven para los artes marciales. Son dos conjuntos diferentes.
No, nunca viví eso.
Right? So he never lived the life of, oh, I know martial arts and I'm going to make a living off of it. No. He lived for martial arts.
Mi papá le pagaba pasaje al estudiante a torneos que no tenían. Yo le pagaba en Estados Unidos, lo hice con muchos estudiantes en República Dominicana.
There came a time where when things started going up, I would come out of pocket and I would pay for people to go out, you know, and do their tournaments or exhibitions. I would pay for them to go to other countries, you know, either it be here in America or in DR. It was always about excelling the martial arts system, not trying to excel one's name or trying to excel one student or the other. It's trying to excel the system as a whole, as a family. Ush.
Ush.
Creo que está bueno por ahora, ya van los 10 minutos, pero entonces hacemos la tercera parte en otro momento.
All right,
Gracias,
so
maestro.
the time has come for me. We will be, I'm looking forward to part 3 of this interview. You know, like he told me not too long ago, we were on the phone. He said, listen, you know, there's so many years of experience on my end that, trust me, I have stories for days. You know, there's going to be more than one part to the interview. And I said, I already know. And con la ayuda de Dios y la bendición de Dios, vamos a estar aquí para todo eso. With God's help and with God's favor, we're going to be here for all of that. I can't wait to do part 30 of this interview. Estoy loco por hacer entrevista parte 30 de esto. O yo.
Sí.
Un honor siempre. Para mí, como le dije al amigo mío más temprano, usted estando en mi casa es como que Brulí estuviera en mi casa. Y no, espérate, because this is something that I told him. Armando, I told you this.
Yes.
Yo le dije a Armando que cuando se trata de Bruce Lee, yo no reconozco a Bruce Lee como este maestro que todo el mundo lo reconoce.
No.
Porque Bruce Lee era un hombre de artes marciales para la cámara. Sí. Él era un peleador de calle. El peleador de calle para nosotros es una persona sin disciplina. Lo que cambió a Bruce Lee fue cuando se le abrió su ojo marcial y comenzó a abrir sistema. Cuando él abrió su primer sistema, ahí fue que ese hombre comenzó a hacer arte marcial y el respeto de él subió. Pero el hermano Twin aquí, desde un principio, ha sido karateca, que lo que ha sido es karateca puro, disciplinado. Oye, el sistema mío se llama Seido Karate. El sistema Seido Karate es el sistema hijo de Kyokushin, que viene siendo del maestro Mas Oyama. Oyama no era fácil. Ok, Oyama no era fácil. So, Seido es traducido como dice the sincere way, la manera sincera. Y eso es lo que este caballero ha sido toda su vida, Seido. ¿Tú me entiendes? Comenzó Karate Do, aprendió de un libro y después practicó en físico lo que era Taekwondo hasta que aceleró un punto que tuvieron que echarle arena porque el hombre estaba creciendo demasiado.
Sí, me cerraron la puerta en República Dominicana y la federación no bloqueó para que no viajáramos ni hiciéramos nada. Pero no importa, ¿no? Estamos aquí. Quiero hacer una mención aparte a Concesión Peña, Chichi Peña, de Puerto Plata, gran maestro, iluminado, que siempre será recordado de Puerto Plata. Concesión Chichi Peña, gran maestro, ícono de las artes marciales de la República Dominicana.
So, big shout out to Chichi Peña, who was a very prestigious and recognized teacher, you know, who also recognizes him as a teacher, you know, and que le está mandando honor, le está mandando gracias.
Sí, honor, él murió.
You know, he passed away, so, you know, this is an honor to him. And, you know, this is a big shout out to him. You know, his memory as far as
en paz descanse, Chichi Peña.
Part of the system, you know.
Bueno, maestro, ya usted sabe, la tercera parte la coordinamos luego.
Pronto. So I'll be right
Eso,
back.
all
I'll be
right.
right back. I'm gonna walk him downstairs.
Okay. Es una bendición para hablar, maestro.
Gracias, maestro. Dios me lo bendiga y que siga haciendo estos programas que son muy instructivos para la comunidad internacional. Bendiciones.
So thank you for hosting. You know, these programs are very instructive and educational for the public, and I hope to keep doing these. We will coordinate for the part 3, and we're gonna keep going on. Us.
Exactly. Us.
All right. I will be right back. I'm gonna mute my mic, and
All right. I'll mute mine too.
I'll be right back. What's up?
All right. What's up?
Bendiciones.
Whoosh. I'm back like I never left.
Yeah, that was a great. It was great talking to El Maestro again.
For real.
Yeah. Yo, but now that it was something that he just said that, like, yo, that, you know, shout out to Mac Dojo, like, for that, right? Because he's actually warning people about, you know, those PDF, let's just say what it is. Those touchers within that makes all martial artists look bad. There was a guy that actually got deleted on camera because of that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think that was I think that was the year that you was born. To tell you the
82.
truth. Yes.
Yep. I definitely heard about that. I mean, I heard about it years later, obviously, because I was born in that year. But
Right.
I definitely heard about that. Yeah, give me a second. I'm calling him because he left some papers in my house.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he needs them.
Okay.
Maestro, usted dejó unos papeles aquí en mi casa. Yo no sé si usted lo necesita, pero se lo tengo guardado. Ok, pero adentro está una dirección para el Bronx y en otro papel es un recordatorio de appointment. Entonces, le tengo esos papeles guardados. Sí. Bueno. Bueno, está bien. Claro que sí, usted sabe que la seriedad del hombre es de la cabeza para arriba que vale. Maestro, se le quiere en euro, hablamos después. Amén. Ush. All right, so I was letting him know that I had his paperwork, and he was telling me, nah, bro, he was like, yo, thank you for being so honorable. Like, most people find other people's paperwork and just throw it away, not knowing if it's important or not. I don't do that. I'll let him know, listen, I found some paperwork that you left here. I'm going to hold it for you until I see you. He said, no, you can throw it away. I said, are you sure? No, man. You know how it is, bro. Respect goes a long way. If you can't show an elder respect, don't expect anyone to show you respect when you become an elder. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. If you can't show your elders respect, don't expect to be shown respect when you become an elder. It's that simple. Yo, my back pain disappeared when that man came in my house, bro.
Wow.
This is what I'm saying. Right, this is what I'm saying. I honor this man more than I honor Bruce Lee. Because to me, Bruce Lee was always a street fighter. All right? Bruce Lee became a martial artist to me when he opened up a system. Before that, to me, he was just a street fighter. I didn't show him any credibility. I showed him respect, but that was it.
Right.
This man has always been a martial artist. And he was self-taught at first. He learned from a book.
Yeah.
You know what was his first belt? Of course, the first belt is white, you know? But you know what was his first belt when he started at school?
What was
yellow belt.
Wow. You know what
that means?
That means that whatever book he was reading had a lot of knowledge.
Bro, for you to start at a school at level 0, but you're already level 4? What?
Yeah.
That's what we call in Spanish bacano. That's bacanísimo, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when he started off as a yellow belt, and he started off with Víctor Mota, Víctor Karate. Right? Víctor Karate said, oh, this young man is going to be my assistant in the school. He became an assistant teacher at yellow belt, and that was the first rank he ever achieved stepping into a school. So he didn't even start at white belt. He started at yellow belt.
Yeah.
That's honorable, man. That's out there honorable. Yeah, man. So my back pain just disappeared. I took him downstairs. I walked into the train. I didn't feel no back pain. I was walking like nothing. I'm like, oh, wow. It's true, when you concentrate and you're focused, the enzymes of your body just take over and they start to do stuff.
Yeah, talking about that, they did have him on YouTube with how should I say, a Professor Internacional Victor Mota. It was like 2 years ago that they actually have a video of him.
All right.
Yeah.
Victor Karate.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like I keep saying, bro. Shout out to San Pedro Macorís, bro. San Pedro Macorís is full of history, full of rich history, full of people that have legendary statuses that were never over-exalted. You know what I'm saying? People that never tried to abuse the power that they had or the power that was given to them. These are people that I honor for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to Skeleton and quick shout out to Fatal. What's going on, brothers?
Yeah, shout out to my wife. Shout out to my homegirl Grace. Shout out to Local Maca.
Shout out.
El Papel.
Shout out.
Yeah, Tekel City.
All right.
215 Studio join. Shout out to my cousin-in-law, Xiaomi. Oh, manda saludo a mi primo Luigi. SPM, ya tú sabes.
SPM, papi, en alta.
Ahí sí. Mario Sarmiento, Club de León.
That's right.
Yeah. If anybody could say, oh, where you from? That's the hood I'm gonna actually claim. I used to run that as a little kid. So therefore,
besides sending a shout out to Villa Sarmiento, I want to send a shout out to the officer of that barrio, Mejia Sarmiento. I don't know if he's still with us, but last time I heard of Mejia Sarmiento, he was a captain for the police department in DR, and he was basically. He's a descendant of the direct family that founded the Villa Sarmiento sector of San Pedro. He's a direct descendant of that, Mejia Sarmiento.
Mejia Sarmiento, okay. I could go and find out. I got who it is.
So I'm on the show. Master Twin was here. He was here like till 9 o'clock, 9:10. I walked him downstairs to the train. Huh? Yeah, he's much better. Even wifey was concerned because on Wednesday when he was supposed to come, he called me at 6 o'clock in the afternoon telling me that he was fainting and his heart was giving out. He was in pain. And I wasn't gonna have him come to the show like that. That's just I would never disrespect a man's stuff like that,
Never.
So I told him, listen, go home, feel better, take Thursday to rest, and we'll meet up on Friday. And then when I told you about it, you're like, on Thursday I got something to do, so Friday it is. I'm like, see, no coincidence. That's a God date right there.
Exactly. I mean, like, shoot, I had to yesterday. We celebrated my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law's birthday. At a rough end, God bless both of them.
Yeah, man. Let me edit this name real quick. We're chilling here with the Senpai Pete and the Lions Paw martial arts system.
Yeah.
All right. Did a quick edit on the name. It's always an honor to have that man here, bro. Like that man. There were so many people in San Pedro that wanted that man to visit his house. And I'm one of the few people that I didn't get to study under him. You know what I'm saying? What I was able to do was, because he was doing both things. He was doing karate at one point and doing taekwondo.
Wow.
But like I said, via knowledge, through him, I understood that taekwondo is just a style of karate. I thought taekwondo was its own thing. It turns out to be a style of karate that's based off of Korean principles.
Yeah.
All right. So when he told me, "Oh, come practice karate with me," I was a kid. Okay, I was already in my second year in. I was like 7 years old, and I told him I already practice karate, and I can't dishonor my master that I have in New York. And he said, "I understand. If anything, while you're here in the country, supplement yourself with something. So at least take taekwondo." And I took 2 or 3 years of taekwondo when I was in San Pedro. I became a yellow belt in taekwondo, so I know what it is to get crazy. You know what I'm saying? When I brought that back to my system over here, my teacher was like, "Wait, I didn't teach you that." I said, "No, I was supplementing myself with taekwondo while I was out of the country." And my teacher honored it because he said the same thing that I said. He said, "Thank you for not dishonoring me and practicing another form of karate, outside of my presence." And I said, "I would never do that. I always give honor where honor is necessary and honor is needed."
Yes.
And that's when I got promoted. I had got promoted from green belt to brown belt without taking the exam.
Wow.
Yo, bro. My testimony in martial arts is crazy, bro. I just haven't given it all because I haven't felt like I've had enough time. This is why we're interviewing other people that, I'm not going to say that this man's time is out, but he's on his way out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's on his way out. He's 80-something years old already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want people like him with his experience that he's been a martial artist for 54 years. I want him to express his stories because then when he's no longer here, I'm gonna relive his stories in my mind, and then I'm gonna know now it's my time to start telling my stories.
Exactly. And talking about telling stories and such. Hopefully, whenever I get my 4K camera or whatsoever, I might be making more trips to New York, so we could actually put out these stories. But you and I, we're going to talk about that in the background.
Yeah, bro, you're ready.
Oh, something else I was about to say. Even though I've been looking at a lot of cameras, right?
You've been looking at a lot of cameras?
Yeah. So there's a camera which is called Black Magic, right? That, say if you wanted to record your own music video, et cetera, it's a little bit pricey though. But the thing is though, it could actually get the job done. So I'm maybe like next year and such like that, I might be thinking about getting that. But for right now, I'm just gonna get like a 4K camera and play around with it a little bit until I get, I guess, the video quality that I want, and then I might do some.
I'm gonna interject you, brother, because remember, we're believers.
Yeah,
you gotta be careful with things that you buy that say stuff like that, because you're inviting stuff into your house that you don't want to invite. You found a camera that's called Black Magic. You don't want to buy that and bring that to your home. It's already saying something that goes against what we believe in, that we know is abomination to the Lord. So it might be a great product, but for the fact but
the name is messed up. Yeah,
the fact that they called it that, I have to excuse myself and find something different, because I'm not going to take something called Black Magic to my house and then all of a sudden I'm fighting influences and demons and stuff, and I don't know why, and it's all because of a new camera.
Yeah.
Remember, there's power in manifestation of words, power in manifestation of names. So when you buy a product, you can't be a Christian and buy a product that says I'm gonna just put it out there. The Devil's Left Sack. You can't buy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be like, bro, what's going on here? It's not even that. You're gonna know personally that, everything is tied to something spiritually. So if you start getting stuff with names like that, and then you don't understand where the influence is coming from, it came from the product.
Got you.
But that's just my insight. I'm just informing you of what I've learned in life.
You know what? You know what? I'll actually take that advice because I was just thinking of it as a product, but now that you actually shed light on it, yeah, I'm actually gonna stay away from that product too. But thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, I was letting my wife know, basically giving her a clarification that you had found a 4K camera that has a built-in microphone, and I bet it's a great product. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But because that product has that name, it's what we call in Spanish sacrilegio. It's a sacrilege name.
Exactly.
That's like, I found this microphone. It's the best microphone around, and it's called Goddamn. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I know. Like, you know what's funny talking about that, right? I know that Wifey was suggesting to you that there's a camera called Hero 7 that people are buying to use for YouTube streaming. Hero 7? Okay. Yeah. You want to speak up and let the people hear your voice, sweetie?
Oh, what's today? Hi, all. Good.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to talk to you again.
Likewise. So I overheard that you're looking into electronics or something of the camera in the field of entertainment to capture your audience and your essence of the realization of feeling your energy. So Hero 7, it's one of the products that's mostly used in the entertainment industry itself, and teaching my son too about what you need to get the message across, like you gentlemen are doing it. I can send that information to you for you to get a general idea of what you do, what's best for you in investing in something in the long run. And it's not that expensive. It also has warranty on it, and it has great reviews. So I advise Hero 7. That's something like you see like the guys use, like ridiculousness, that's what they use. Or they're skateboarding. They capture everything live. So that's something that you actually want. If you don't want to do that, the next thing that you can do, how iPhones are, you can actually use that itself. And knowing how to use the system, which is like Photoshop, or just like iPhone itself is very self-explanatory, that it can work to whatever it is to your favor. But if you want to get more detail, Hero 7 is the way to go.
Okay. Thank you.
So I hope that was very informative to you. I'm gonna give you back. I have to go save lives now. I
heard that. Do that God-given duty, my sister.
Yeah, but take one as a moment. Each one teach one, and I thought I was able to share something with you guys. And blessings. I'm gonna exit from here. Okay.
All right, so that's my wife, the nurse, Red Cross affiliate. I'm saying Mount Sinai, 15-year worker. Wow, 1199 delegate. And my Wonder Woman, my rock. So, this is what's going on over here. I have a button here to mute the microphone for stuff like that. It's okay. Etiquette and protocol is not something that goes for everyone.
I'm alive.
She's like, I'm alive.
At least I can burp.
I make human errors because I'm human. It's okay.
I'm cute. I save lives. I could burp. I'm capable.
DJ, do me a favor and edit that out from the broadcast. All right. Yeah, I just made a fictitious producer in the background. DJ, do me a favor and cut that out from the broadcast. All right. It's alive.
Yeah.
Science monster. It's alive. Yeah, bro. It's about getting to that time. I need to. The kids are already in bed and whatnot, but I need to walk wife from the train, make sure she's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Tonight was a good episode, man, and many more to come, like always.
Of course.
But if you have any questions before I bow out, please ask them, bro, because I know I did my end as far as translating for my intro, but
right.
I told him, I said, sometimes we keep the show running till 10, 11 o'clock. Like sometimes we go up to 12, 1 o'clock. And he's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, y'all talk about that many things. I'm like, you never know what the topic is going to be and what the passion of the topic might be at the moment. Like we might be talking about fire safety. We might be talking about house safety. And he was like, oh, yeah, so you're really doing all of that? I said, martial arts to me is not just a form of self-defense. It's a way of all-around defense. House defense, street defense, personal defense, family defense. So that's my story. Sticking to it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something that's completely random. How it was 60 degrees 3 days ago, but today it's snowing.
I mean, me personally, I guess we could actually say, even though I'm tired of saying this, it's global warming.
I think it's the heart machine.
That too. I mean, I was actually watching this guy, what's his name? The former governor, Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a former
He was a wrestler.
Yeah, and a wrestler too. And a former
Navy. Jesse Ventura. He was a wrestler. He was a great person.
Yes. So we were talking, and he was like, "Well, I'm a former Navy SEAL," and there was like they can't. It was like one of the episodes that he had, and they were talking about, I guess, HARP and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Stuff really going on that the government don't want us to know about.
You can't play with God, bro. You're playing with climate control. That's God's backyard. That's his forte. That's his elements to play with. You're playing with elements and you're playing with fire. You cannot play with God's natural order and system. You know what I'm saying? You're playing with things that you have no control over, trying to gain control over it, and it's going to be a bad review. For real. It's going to be a bad review.
Yeah.
By them playing with the climate, it's basically doing what they did in the Tower of Babel. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to reach a high summit to where they can dethrone God. Oh, it's gonna be cold. Well, we say no, it's not gonna be cold no more. We know how to distort winter and keep it spring or keep it fall. That's not good. There's a reason why there's 4 seasons. It's the earth purifying itself. If the earth can't purify itself, it's not gonna run no more.
Yep.
I wonder how people think that water comes to their faucet. I wonder if they think that water is a never-ending resource. That's not true. Water has an ending source, the same way water has a beginning source. And the world purifies itself to a point where we can drink water purely from the river, purely from a rock. It's crazy, man. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's probably extra for me to say shout out to the Almighty for creating such a beautiful world for us to live in, but I'm definitely going to say that.
Yep.
For real, man. I want to send a big shout out to Yahweh for creating San Pedro de Macorís, bro. Big shout out. Big shout out. and I'm trying to put my faith together and put my plans together. I'm trying to go back to San Pedro as soon as possible. You know, a lot of people are asking for me. A lot of people want to see my presence over there. A lot of people want me to fix things that are going on in the city. And it's like, I'll be forgetting that I don't have political power. I just have power in the streets. But I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, because, you know, one thing I got to say is rest in peace to the guy that you considered your brother in San Cristobal. Very unfortunate of what happened.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, King Negro, man. Que el gran padre lo tenga en su seno derecho. You know what I'm saying? Que descanse como rey.
Yeah. Let's see.
Look at that. My maestro pulled up to the YouTube and send a shout out. Open topics. God bless you, Master. Bendiciones. Amén. Gilberto Santana. Twin.
Amén.
Dios te bendiga muchísimo, mi hermano.
Dios te bendiga.
Amén. Us.
Amén. Us.
Yeah, man.
Saludo Maestro.
Gilberto Santana,
Maestro Santana. Y saludo a
Karate. Sí. La máquina.
Saludo a Eloy Cruz. Sí. Saludo a Maestro Eloy Cruz.
Saludo al maestro Cruz Valdés, el mismo hombre.
Sí.
Inver Puerto Plata, un saludo para allá. Yeah, man. Beautiful show today, man. Muy lindo programa el de hoy. Sí. Espero que haya sido de mucho beneficio para los oyentes y beneficio para los que están practicando comerciales. You know, I hope that this program was of big efficiency to those that practice martial arts and to those that listen that want to practice martial arts. You know, it's never too late to learn. It's never too late to practice. You know, your body might be going through something, but the moment you start training, your body will adjust to the system. Trust us. Yeah, man. It was an honor to have that man at my house, bro. You know, normally when we do interviews, you know, we give the link to the studio to people and they come directly to the studio. You know what I'm saying? I had this man sitting in my house in my living room. You know what I'm saying? Honored with his presence. You know, that's how we do it. Yeah, so if you have any further questions that you might want to ask, please ask them, because I'm about to step out and walk to the train. After that, obviously, I'm going to bed. You know, I'll be up every day at 5:30.
You know what? That's one thing that that we're Dominicans. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shoot, my mother, she used to wake up every day at that same time.
That's it, man.
Yeah, and then on top of it, I used to wake up earlier, because the way that that how should I say that the subway system or transit systems here in Philly, you have to wake up at that time. So I could actually say, for where I work at, I've had perfect attendance until now.
Amen.
Because of that.
Because you learned how to use the system.
Yeah.
Right? So that's basically
Yeah. So do what you got to do, and I'll try to at least hold it out for another hour. You know what I mean? Because I know that you have to go to sleep and such.
all right. So I mean, if you're gonna be here for another hour, then I guess I'll have enough time to walk right through the train and come back.
Gotcha.
You know, so I'm not necessarily in a rush to go to bed. It's not like I have a curfew.
Got you.
But you know, I want to make sure that, you know, whatever topic we have going on, that we at least finish something. You know, besides the fact that we had a beautiful interview part 2. You know, we always have our own things that we want to talk about and get it out before the show ends. So I'm more than happy to participate with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I should be leaving like maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then you know, obviously I'll put my mic on mute. I won't exit the studio.
Gotcha.
And then when I come back, you know, we can further continue and elaborate.
All right.
But I'm gonna start throwing my boots on and getting ready to bring her down because it's snowing. I'm not trying to catch a cold.
Gotcha.
Pedro, what's going on, man? I see the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna start muting now as I'm getting ready to take her down, and
Okay.
I'll be back ASAP.
All right, got you.
Push.
Yep. How you doing, Irby? Yeah. So one thing I gotta say is this. Gracias a Gilberto Santana según parte de la entrevista. Y yo como hago, yo y Pedro estamos hablando de la historia como artes marciales en la República Dominicana, pero estoy curioso. Pero yo nací aquí en Estados Unidos, pero mi gente son de San Pedro de Macorís. Mi papá y mi mamá eran de Eugenio Consuelo, ahora se llama Municipio Consuelo. Y mi papá es aprender en Estados Unidos. Pero en mi mente, este año 2024, estoy pensando, mira, República Dominicana tiene una historia de los artes marciales y yo quiero saber cuándo fue originado en la República Dominicana y la historia. Yo y Pedro estamos hablando por muchos meses por eso. Y también menciona el nombre del maestro Gilberto Santana. Y gracias a Dios, yo y Pedro estamos hablando con él. Con mucho respeto y cariño por este maestro de San Pedro.
Yes, Irby, we're still here. I just pulled back up. I'm here. I'm home. Trains were running a little slow. I try to make sure that that she safely got on the train. But I'm back up. I'm here. Give me 2 seconds to solidify my spot in my chair and all that good stuff. Yes, sir. We back, sir. Yes, sir. See, we back like we never left. Turn the air fryer on. On 350 is fine. Put it for 14 minutes, not 15. Thank you. All right, so I'm here. We're here. You know what it is. It's the Open Topics with Don Armando Special Edition Martial Arts. We did the part 2 interview to the master of martial arts in my city, as far as the Karate Do movement is in Taekwondo for San Pedro. There are other styles in San Pedro. There is Kung Fu. There also is some other forms. When I say forms, it's because honestly, if you go to Okinawa, there's no such thing as styles of karate. It's just names of schools. And names of schools doesn't necessarily mean that your system is anywhere different from the next. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that the Master Twin in the first interview gave us a breakdown of how, the Taekwondo family established. And then it was basically 5 different schools, that were studying the same syllabus that had different names. So to become one family, they came up with the name Taekwondo, which means the combination of using your fist and your kicks. And that's a beautiful thing, But when we talk about karate in general, let's say in the mainland or in Okinawa, because Okinawa was the birthplace of karate, starting off with the descendancy of White Crane Kung Fu. You have people that came from different schools, and it kind of sounded like if they were a different style, but they weren't. It was all karate. You had Shotokan, you had Ishin Ryu, you had Goju Ryu, you had Shiraigenku Ryu, you have Kyokushin, us. You have Seido, us, my system. You have we have Taekwondo, we have Hapkido. There's other systems, Kempo, Kendo. There's a lot of systems that revolve around feudal era, either Japan or feudal era Okinawa, where it's one basic system. Just the schools had different names because the teachers may have had a different last name, but they all descended from one person. They all descended down from one. Just because of public record, we can't necessarily tell you when the dawnings of martial arts started. What we do know is that on record, people started to record their feats as martial artists. And that's when history started to become, more centered in what martial arts is. But trust me, martial arts has been around since the dawning of time. So I could imagine, in its earliest form, how brutal it may have been, how savage. Training to not excel to be a warrior or to be a fighter, but training to excel in being a hunter, someone that provides for the family. Those are things that martial arts helps with people that are living, let's say, in third world countries where it's legal to go hunt so that you can feed your family with what you hunted. Martial arts isn't necessarily what's going to be here in the States for that, because in the States you don't have to go hunting for food. Food is already available to you. It's the greatest monopoly that exists in America, the food monopoly, the food industry. Big farm, big entertainment, big Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what it is. Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's like to the point right now that I've been seeing that a lot of people are trying to make, I guess, Luigi a hero because people are actually using him as clickbait to say, oh yeah, we found something in Big Pharma. But they're actually telling us stuff that we actually know already. So, I don't know, man.
People are always quick to use propaganda or use someone else's calamity or tragedy to make it, something on their own. So yeah, clickbait is basically what it is. Clickbait is definitely what it is.
I know. I mean, just look at certain stuff, right? I mean, they try to have distractions now. They're talking about Jay-Z.
Okay.
They're talking about this in the news. I mean, the deletion of the United Healthcare CEO. But this is the thing, though. Let's just say this guy passed away, right? The United Healthcare CEO, right?
Yeah.
What is deletion? What is deletion actually proved? You get what I'm trying to say?
What is the nation trying to prove?
No, what is deletion is proven, meaning that after he passed, there's another CEO, and the cog goes on. So
of course, there's no one person team. There's no iron team. Right? People think that because they took a boss out, that they took out a whole operation. It's a whole operation. It's not a one-man team. Y'all basically, all y'all really did, and I'm sorry, this sounds like I'm probably instigating, but all y'all really did was take the face of the company. Y'all took a pawn out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wild, man. So I went outside to take her to the train, and it's snowing like there's no tomorrow, but it's literally warm outside. I'm like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much, Fatal. That's basically what's going to happen. That's what they do. They create laws and bylaws to protect people that are doing whatever they're doing, either scamming the public, pretending to give people back their health. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you're not going to tell me that you're feeding me this one medicine that's going to help me with one thing, but it's going to mess me up in 7 other things. So how are you helping me?
Right.
How does that work?
It really doesn't.
Oh yeah, I stopped having dizzy spells, but now all of a sudden I have manic depression and I have suicidal thoughts and tendencies now. Wow. So you took something that helped you with your dizziness, and now you want to kill yourself. That's not good.
Mm-mm.
I don't know, man. You be hearing all these. It's funny how they tell you the main side effects when they do the commercials to these things. You know that in Europe they don't do that. In Europe, there's no such thing as a medicine commercial. There's medicine billboards,
right?
But there's no medicine TV commercials. It's banned.
Wow. One thing that I'm seeing, right? And when it comes to, I guess, healthcare around the world, they'll say that, okay, the United States is the best, right? But yet, Europe and Asia sometimes have the best doctors. So my thing is this. With medical knowledge go hand in hand with medicine here in the United States, right? Why is it in certain countries they have free healthcare, but yet we're the only ones that don't? That's one thing that's amazing to me.
Because it's a monopoly that has been working for generations for people, and if they stop it now, the future generations are going to be bankrupt. Period. You know, when we talk about Asia has been practicing medicine for 5,000 years.
Yep.
Like, there's things that they'll say here is uncurable, and you go over there for 2 months and you come back like if nothing happened. They don't know how. They have no explanation. Here they have no explanation. Over there they do. Because they relate everything to you have one of 5 things. Either you have over access of mucus, so that's bothering your respiratory, it's bothering your heart, it's bothering this, it's bothering that.
Right.
You have excess liquid in your liver, that's bothering this, bothering that. They know the 5 main roots of the body where the problems start from. And if they can heal that, which is what they do, whatever it is that you're suffering on the side, they already healed the main thing. So that side thing it's gone.
Yep.
So let's say in my case, I hurt my back. Right. I basically broke my back in June. I broke my back, but you can't stop a machine. The machine keeps going.
Right.
All right. So I broke my back in June, and now that my back is recovering, I'm feeling nerve pain in my legs, shooting pain, either electricity and or fire, or I get cramps in my legs, catch a Charlie horse, whatever it is, right?
Right.
If I were to go to Asia right now, let them know, listen, this is what happened to me, like this. Whatever acupuncture and pressure they're going to put on me, it's going to heal the main thing of what's causing me pain, and all these side pains are just going to disappear.
Right.
That's how that works.
Yep.
Yeah, man. All right. It's a little bit of cough.
Yeah, I hear you.
I definitely need to bow out.
Gotcha.
And are you doing the urban movement tomorrow?
Yes. I'm gonna have a fellow Macorizano brother by the name of Mumore on that chat also.
Okay.
Yeah. But he lives in Boston,
cool.
but he was raised down in San Pedro just like us.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So come through, Pete. I'll give you the link and everything.
Of course. You already know. You know I'm gonna pull up. I don't leave you. I don't let you walk alone, bro.
Got you.
You already. San Pedro forever, man.
Exactly. Yes, SPM.
Us.
Shawty Coleman gang. Salute. I'm saluting all the people that pull up on my Instagram too. I mean, shoot. I can't wait till 2025 because, siempre activo Charlie Coleman. Tú sabes, hablando de lo arte marcial. Mañana te llegó a Historias Urbanas con Don Armando. De cualquier rapero, embocero, productor o media de prensa en Santo Domingo o en Sudamérica o Centroamérica quiere promueva a sus artistas, Historias Urbanas, tú sabes, aquí. Chequea en la noche, mañana, tú sabes.